good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good middle of the night. I never know what to say. I say hello to all my friends in TV land. I'm seen at so many different times in so many different communities. What I want to do is include everybody. This is Senior Issues, etc. And I'm your host, Vita Burden. You know, we've been doing this for a long time, and I always like to be on the cutting edge and bring you something that I think is good for you. You know, we're a 501c3 and non-for-profit, so we never try to sell anybody anything. We're considered to be community service, which is educational and consciousness raising. And I was contacted by these two good-looking guys I have with me today, and they told me what their idea is and what they're doing. We are seniors educating seniors. We're not a group of 19-year-olds telling you what seniors are supposed to be doing. You know, we're up there. We have a range in here of seniors from the late 50s to 90 years old as a crew. So we think we know what's going on. So anyway, getting back to what our show is today, I was contacted by this good-looking guy, and he said that he was a senior and he had a partner, and that what they did is they were more or less exercise gurus, you know, that they had like a lot of miles on them. They came from the YMCA, and they developed this program of seniors exercises for seniors. They developed the program. And I thought, wow, you know, that's really good. And they found a place where they give a class on that. So we're gonna get the lowdown, the dirt on the two of them, on what's going on and how far they're gonna take this thing. This first good-looking guy to my right is Bernie Klos, like in Santa. And he's going to tell us a little bit about himself. And sitting next to him is John Keller, and he's the good-looking guy that contacted me. And we're going to start first with Bernie. Tell us a little bit about yourself. You know, I know like what they want out there. They want to get up close and personal. So give us a little something about yourself. Look right into that camera and tell that camera that loves you a little something about yourself, okay?
Sure, Vita. I'm a retired CPA, CFO for small to medium-sized businesses, and I came across fitness rather later in life. I was kind of a couch potato sitting behind a desk for most of my life. Only the last few years of my employment did I start exercising at a nearby YMCA, and I liked it. They asked me to teach a couple classes, and I started doing that. And I came across a senior fitness program run by my partner here, John Keller. And he showed me the ropes. I'm the junior senior, he's the senior senior. And that's how I got involved in senior fitness. Our passion is the health and well-being of the senior community, and that includes us too, because we're seniors as well.
Well, now, do you have any significant somebody or pet that you want to blow some kisses to? And we don't blow little featherweight. We give smackaroonies here on this show.
Absolutely. My wife, Joy, as well as my two sons, Martin and Vincent, and my grandchild, Cameron.
So that's three more you have to give out. Now we're getting to John. You're the senior member of this group. You're the originator of the idea,
That is correct.
right?
That is correct.
So John, how about giving our friends out there some lowdown on John?
Okay, well, I'll start by how I found out about the class is that when I retired, I had a business of my own. I had 50 people. I sold the business and decided to work in other areas as a consultant, but I also said, I'm going to get myself in good shape. I'm tired of waking up in the morning, feeling stiff and grouchy and all that, and I said, so I'm going to take exercise classes. So I tried the exercise classes at almost all of the facilities that are available. And the interesting thing that I found is that some of the classes were too difficult for us, and some for me, and some of the classes were actually too easy. So with that into my brain, I said, well, I want to come up with my own class. And so I'm a registered group exercise instructor. I'm registered in balance, called Fall Safe, and I'm sure a lot of people might have even seen Sit and Be Fit, where the exercises are done sitting down. So I have a pretty good background. I've been doing it for 8 years now, and it caught on. And the interesting thing is it's such a warm class. There's a lot of camaraderie in the class because the people that come in, it's our peer group, and we're talking about people 55 and older, and we have a 90-year-old that just joined our class at Libertyville. I'm so proud. She's the greatest. And we had to cancel the class during the snow, the bad snow, and she called me up on the phone and she said, why are you guys chicken? Why are you canceling the show for tomorrow? I said, Moira, we just can't. Nobody can get into the parking lot. So I mean, we just have a real warm closeness with that. But mainly, what I find, it really gives me back almost more than I give, because the people are just so warm, they're so complimentary, and they feel at home there, and they feel that they feel better. And that is the whole key issue, is feeling
Now,
better.
do you have anybody you want to blow some smackaroonies?
Oh my gosh, if I didn't do that, it would be...
You got to do that. That's a requirement of the show.
You'll slap my hand,
Yeah.
or my wife will
That's
slap
a
me.
requirement.
Yeah, I have my lovely and intelligent wife, Sally. There's a big one for you. My
That's right.
3 children, my son Brett, to him. My 2 daughters, Penny and Penelope. They live in London. And one for Penn, one for Pan.
And what I'm going to do is my significant other is the audience right out there. God bless you. I love you all. Okay, now let's get down to the nitty gritty. First of all, what is your, I'm going to ask this question to you, John. What do you call your group?
We tried to choose words that just told people exactly what we do. And we call ourselves Senior Fitness Classes.
Okay, well, that's simple enough. Senior fitness class. That makes sense, duh? Right, that's good. All right, now the next thing is, where do you give your class?
Well, we're centered in Libertyville, right behind the Senior Center, if people are familiar with
Now,
that.
remember that you have to tell people, because this show is seen in a lot of places, where is Libertyville?
Libertyville is a very nice suburb north, about 25 miles north of Chicago, the center of Chicago, and very close to many of the suburbs in Lake County. And we service ourselves just with our small class. We have people coming from Vernon Hills, we have people coming from Lake Forest, etc.
Now I'm going to jump over to Bernie, and I'm going to say, now we have people watching and they haven't seen your demonstration, but after they've seen the demonstration, how could they contact the two of you?
Well, either by website or by phone.
Let's go through the website first.
The website is forseniorfitness.com, and the 4 is the numeral 4.
The numeral 4. Okay, now say it again.
forseniorfitness.com.
Okay, and the telephone number.
312-206-8425.
Okay, now how often are your classes?
Classes are 3 times a week, 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. It's an hour class. And that's been expanded. We started with 2 classes a week, and now we're up to 3. And we're talking about expanding that further, not only in Libertyville, but also in other locations.
All right, now one of the questions I want to ask, if they go to the website, it tells about the classes and it tells about the charges on the classes. I understand it's a nominal fee.
Yes, currently we're charging $3 per class.
And the class goes for how long?
For 1 hour.
For 1 hour. Can you beat that price, $3 for 1 hour?
And
Where do
Vida?
Where do you get that? You don't get that very often. All right. Now I'm going to get back to John and say one of the things that I feel is that you're going to be contacted by people from outside the area. Okay? Now, are you open to like discussing starting a group in a different location?
Well, we're actually working on that as we're here today. We do have some people, interested parties that want us to come into their community and do once a month, every couple of weeks, depending on what our time frame is. But we want to take it on the road, so to speak.
So you are interested in expanding.
Exactly.
So I would say that people from other communities, if they have other ideas or other questions, they should contact the two of you because you just started this not too long. How long have you been doing this
I
now?
think we began in last summer.
You began last summer, so
it hasn't even been a year.
It's in its stage, infantile stage of taking off, and it's such a good idea. I know that it really is going to take off. I'm so glad that you contacted me for this. Now we're going to just take a little diversion into Vita's Pearls of Wisdom. Okay, finally, after the winter that we had, we're into some degree of warmness. So what are we going to do with it? Number one, what you have to do is shake those couch potatoes out of you and do start some form of exercise, no matter what it is, because if you don't move it, you're going to lose it. So you got to keep yourself moving. So with this better weather, I suggest that you walk to a park and get some of those vitamin C's into you, a little bit of sunshine. And I have talked to you about this before. You know, I have a huge plate in my leg, and when I'm walking on uneven ground, that makes me lose my balance. So what I bought, and I'm not advertising for Walgreens. I happen to get it at Walgreens, but any medical supply house or any large drugstore is selling them. And what it is a portable cane. Like if I'm going somewhere and I don't know the terrain where I'm going, you know, I just throw it into my purse and I flip it open, and then I find that it gives me certain support. And you have to get yourself a good pair of walking shoes. And if it's hard for you to bend, I have found that as diabetic, I get a pair of shoes from my podiatrist once a year, and I get it through Medicare. And the shoes that I have purchased that are that I get free, that are fit for diabetics, are shoes that have Velcro on them. And that's an easy thing, you know. And they have all kinds of different walking styles now with the Velcro, and that is a good thing. So get yourself, this is a good investment, or if you're diabetic, get it through your podiatrist. The next thing that I want you to really be aware of is that you have to stay hydrated. You have to stay hydrated, that you should have a bottle of water with you practically at all times. If you're going on, put it a little thing in your purse or carry it along with you to get yourself to stay hydrated. That is a really good thing. Now, it's a real important thing I've just heard about. I live in a senior building of so many people falling, and one of the things, a big issue in falling, is they haven't checked their apartment to make it fall proof. And by that I mean you check and see if there's little rugs, and you can get your foot caught underneath the thing, that if there's any little rugs that encumber your way, or if you get up at night to go to the washroom, that there's a rug in your way or a rug in your bathroom, and get rid of those things. And the next thing is, if you get up to get something in the dark, a glass of water, go to the washroom, be sure that there's a night light. And you know, you can buy them cheap at Walmart or any discount store, some little light just to plug in, that you have a lighted way. And those little tips will save you from a broken hip or any kind of a fall. And we wish Larry Phillips, who was with a part of our crew, he fell and broke his hip, a happy birthday. God bless. Now we're going to get back to getting these guys to show us their stuff. You know, we want to see the goods. You know, what are you talking about? And so now we're going to get back, and you got to show us your muscle now. You got a lot of people out there saying, okay, let's see what they got. So let's get to that now.
Thanks, Vita. Well, we like to start every class with a warm-up. That's very important because we want to raise our body's core temperature and prepare it for more vigorous exercise. So when our class is ready every day, I will tell them, literally, shake a leg, and then shake another leg, and then shake an arm, and then shake another arm. We want to get that blood moving. Breathing is very important as part of our exercises too. We want to practice rhythmic breathing, exhale whenever we exert. And one way to get people started on that is to do some yoga circles. Big circles reaching high, inhaling and exhaling, and reversing that direction. And we've also talked about fall prevention as being critical for senior citizens. And one of the ways we work on that is to build ankle strength and practice ankle mobility. So a lot of times we will put a toe out, put another toe out, repeat that on the first side, and repeat that on the other side. Then we'll come up on our toes, putting our hands out for a little balance, and we'll extend that a little bit more. And then we'll do a little walking on our tiptoes, back and forth, side to side, maybe a little diagonal. We're building ankle strength and mobility. And we will also do that with our heels. One heel out and then the other. Changing over to the first side and then the second. And then bringing both heels up. And then we'll do a little penguin walk, like I like to call it. A little back and forth, a little side to side, maybe a little pirouette. Once again, we're building ankle mobility and ankle strength. As part of our warm-up, we normally do this about 8 to 10 minutes of each class, and we'll hit all the major muscle groups. In this particular segment, we're just going to hit a few of them. We want to work on our obliques, our side muscles. So to do that, we make a number 11, and we'll turn to one side, come back center, turn to the other side, center ourselves. Now we're going to make that a little bit more progressive, a little deeper turn. Come back center, a deeper turn to the other side, come back center. And last, we're going to make a real deep turn, look over that opposite shoulder, come back center, do that on the opposite side. Very important to work out both sides of the body. Hip mobility and strength is very important. This is my last one. We'll come over to one side, hand comes down the leg, and we'll repeat that on the other side, opening up those hips and those inner thighs. So for our next segment, John is going to take us through some strength exercise using some resistance bands.
Okay.
How do you like
Thank
it?
you
These
very
guys
much.
are hot, right?
All right. The resistance band is a very simple, where are we? There we are. Thank you. Okay. It's a very simple piece of equipment to use, and we're going to work with that today. In order to set yourself up for it, is you want to triangulate the body. A triangle is the strongest form of a shape in the universe, supposedly. And so I've got my feet shoulder width apart. I'm tightening up the gluteal muscles, I'm tightening up the abdominal muscles, and I'm trying to stand up straight. So we're going to begin with some very simple exercises that people can do. They can modify it, they can make it harder, they can make it simpler. It's just front lifts. But it's just a few of those. It's all for the upper body, shoulders, arms, triceps, biceps, into the rear. 3. Then we're going to step out of the tube, fold the tube in half, and we're going to use it in a different manner. So I'm going to come out with the tube, and I'm going to stretch that tube out. You can feel that in the chest. You automatically feel it. A couple of those. And then also overhead. And then, lastly, with this particular one, we put the band behind us and we stretch it. And as Bernie said, when you're exertion, what am I doing? I'm exhaling. Then when I relax, I inhale. Breathing is very important to move the blood and oxygen through the body. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is, we call it archery. So hopefully you can see this. I take my left arm out to the side and I pull the band back towards my chest. Remember, my chest, not my face. And you pull it back as far as you can. We do a lot of reps of this. We're only showing a few here today. And I go to the right side. Pull it, relax. What am I doing here? I'm exhaling, I'm inhaling. Okay. Then we do the last one, which is my favorite. I call this downhill skiing. Hopefully you can see this. I get back into this position. It's a 3-part movement. I bend, I rotate, and I raise the stirrups. Come back to the starting position, do the same thing on the other side. You do a lot of reps with this. If you do a lot of reps, which we can, it can turn into a cardio class, which is good for the lungs. And that's probably the last one. So thank you very much. And Bernie is going to continue on with the dumbbells.
Thanks, John. We work a lot with strength and flexibility. As seniors, we face the fact that we lose muscle mass and bone density every year. So we want to recover some of that and get that back. And to do that, we use light dumbbells. So our first exercise, we're going to be working on shoulder strength, on arm strength, as well as upper chest strength. We're coming with an upward press, coming back down the shoulder level, coming out, coming back in. We're doing the letter L. Nice slow movements, very important whenever we're working with any sort of strength exercise, any type of equipment. And we can also use this equipment for range of motion exercises. And we're going to pretend that we're fishermen here. We're going to reel out our lines, nice smooth motion, as big a circles as we can. And once we got that catch, we're going to reel it back in. Working opposing muscles now, very important to work both sides of the body, work all the muscle groups. And continuing with our nautical theme here, we're going to do a little swimming, and this is for arm strength. We're just going to alternate dumbbell lifts. So this is a little sampler of our upper body exercises, and we're not neglecting the lower body. We want to work with that too. One of them we do is called a progressive squat. So once again, the dumbbells are at shoulder level, feet are about shoulder length apart, and we'll do a small dip of the knees and come back up. And a little bit more pronounced, and then come back up. And now we'll do a deeper bend and come back up. And my last one today is going to be a lunge. And this is great for almost all the muscles in the lower body. We're going to take one step forward and then drop the knee on the other side and spring back up. Once again, we want to do both sides of the body. And we're going to be doing the front and the back. So that's a sample of some of our strength exercises using dumbbells. And now John's going to take us through the last segment of our class, which is balance.
Thank you, Bernie. Yes, and Vita so well put it, I wish I could phrase it that way myself, is that she really hit the core of exercise, and that is balance, maintaining balance. It's so, so important to us. And we teach this, gets to be about a 15-minute class. We're going to run through just a bunch of quick exercises, and you don't even have to buy any equipment for this. You just use your brain, your cognitive senses, you pay attention to what you're doing, and you use the muscle strength that you've been gaining back by coming to class on time. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go back on the heels and up on the toes just to start at the bottom of the things we're going to use. So once I've loosened it up like that, I'm going to move on to walking a straight line. And I'm going to walk a straight line, maybe with a half a step. Take a small one so that I have my balance. I don't look down. I'm feeling my way across. Then I'm going backwards. Toe to heel. Coming back, then also another way we can work on the balance is crossing over our legs and returning them. Cross that leg over and return it. You can do that with a half step as well. Go back the other way. Cross over, return, cross over, and return. Then, more challenging things that we work on is standing on one leg. I go forward, and I do a point flex, point flex, point flex. The other leg, point flex, put down, see I can come down to, catch my balance. Then I move into standing, putting the foot out to the side, down, out to the side and down, out to the front, I should say, then the side, then the rear. Other leg, forward, side, and rear. Then we would like to try doing what we call the windshield wiper. Forward, side, rear, side, forward, side, rear. The other leg, forward, side, rear, side, forward. And that's a little taste of the balance class. Thank you very much.
Now in the 1 minute that's left, sit down, John.
Okay.
In the 1 minute that's left, why don't you tell us, John, why don't you sum it up? Where does your passion lie? What are you getting out of it?
Well, I think I mentioned before, I get so much out of it because I enjoy it. And secondly, I keep myself in shape. First, I introduce people who probably have not even exercised and get them into a regimentation. And I like to tell them that hopefully they'll be able to exercise the rest of their life. And I want to also teach the rest of my life.
Well, that is really good. And I think that another benefit you get out of it is you keep those little gray cells going.
Exactly.
And if you keep
Exactly.
those little gray cells going, the last show we did on Alzheimer's, they said what happens is the brain shrinks. So that's never going to happen to us, and God willing, that you know what it is now when I'm talking to you, you couch potato out there, come to the end of your rope. You know what you do? You tie a knot and you hang on. You know why? Because the best is yet to come, and what we want you all to do this week is catch the spirit. God bless you. We love you.
And we're out. We're out.
Good show.